You're too cold. But I'm not the one at fault here. You are. You should have joined Quadratus when I gave you the chance. You were the one who acted foolishly before, Sophia." As he spoke, all three of his eyes glowed blood red as if possessed. Speaking of that organization Quadratus, one must mention the disaster fish threatening the ecosystems in the red zone. How on earth did that Quadratus group turn this fear into worship serving the 4 disaster fish? They don't care that these disasters will wipe out humanity. Back to Sophia, upon hearing these words, she nearly vomited from holding it in. Enough nonsense. You want me to join some ridiculous organization like this? Using the disaster fish's power as an excuse to sacrifice people's lives. Even selling the relics of the dead for profit, how is that acceptable? Are you even human? Do you realize how many explorers you've deceived with promises of safe shelter and food, only to end up dead inside a disaster fish? In response to her accusations, Georgiou showed a blank expression and retorted, "So what? I just make money with my abilities and participate in their religious rituals. Anyone who blindly believes them is the fool. They won't live long anyway. They should be grateful for even a brief moment living in that beautiful place inside a disaster fish. I hope you'll come to your senses soon. After a few more runs, you'll see for yourself." With that, the brat disappeared right before Sophia's eyes, leaving her no time to stop him. "At least he's quick to run," she muttered, thinking back to Georgiou's past. "Zhang Georgiou, if only I had known you would become this kind of person. You completely changed after nearly dying trying to escape the belly of a disaster fish. If I chase after him now," Sophia hesitated, recalling the earlier advice from the main guy. "Don't worry about me. Don't focus on anything else. Just concentrate on gathering the materials. I'm sorry, but I want to entrust this task to you, Kang Han-su." Back to the main guy's position, unaware of what happened to Sophia, he was speeding up to collect the remaining necessary materials. The key item needed to defeat a disaster fish is a dissolving solution that causes sclerosis. This dissolving solution was synthesized by a sorcerer combining knowledge to create the perfect poison against the disaster fish. One of the first ingredients is its alkali. I have to get the heart of a Kukuza. To find a Kukuza, I need to know the location of a valley between the body and the root. That's what I assumed. The Kukuza live in a cave near the root of the tree to avoid the disaster fish. They easily burrow and make their nests inside. Compared to the heart of the Kukugia, the other ingredients needed to make the dissolving solution that causes sclerosis are relatively easy to find. But near the root of the tree, it's very difficult to find the heart of a Kukuza. If I manage to find it, that would be great. Thinking that, Han-su's steps paused for a moment as he sensed strange energy waves appearing. It's coming. Saying this, he drew out the 2 short axes hanging at his sides and activated his Dragon Chi-Tai technique, a magical enhancement of his ki, causing both axes to glow with a golden light immediately. Right after he finished, a herd of fierce-looking water buffalo-like creatures charged at him from the hollow trees. They were the Kukuza. Seeing the monsters charging to attack, the main character didn't hesitate, and prepared to send them straight to the underworld. First, he swung one of his axes at the leading beast's skull, chopping it cleanly, sending the creature to its death instantly. Then, putting force into his legs, he used his footwork to close the distance with the buffalo behind, and swung his axes wildly at their throats, cutting them down like ripe grass. However, after killing several, Han-su's axes started showing signs of damage. Cracks appeared on the blades, and his eyes narrowed. It seemed channeling chi into the weapon caused it to deteriorate faster. I need to attack while carefully adjusting my technique until I get a better weapon. Just as he thought this, another buffalo took advantage of Han-su's moment of distraction, wagged its tail, and bit him from behind. But how could the main character not feel this attack? Instantly he turned and threw one of his axes straight into the beast's head, piercing deep so that its eyes turned white as a frog's. Yet, these monsters really seemed fearless. Even after Han-su had beaten them to a pulp, several others charged at him wildly. Seeing this, Han-su lightly flicked his index finger, controlling the axe stuck in the skull of a buffalo lying dead like a dog nearby. The axe spun like a boomerang and flew straight back to him. On its flight path, the axe conveniently smashed a hammer right into the brain of one of the buffaloes, instantly killing it. After retrieving his axe, Han-su noticed 5 more buffalo quietly closing in on him from a distance. As soon as they reached striking range, all the buffaloes simultaneously whipped their tails, propelling their bodies high into the air, aiming straight at him. Below, Hansu clenched his weapons tightly, focusing power into his legs, ready to charge into a fierce battle with them. As he closed in, he swung one axe down the body of a buffalo, cleaving it in two. In no time, Hansu had slaughtered all the young cuckoos around him. Looking at the scattered carcasses, he thought to himself that all the buffaloes he just defeated were juveniles. The adults must be somewhere else. Should I deal with the young ones too? With that thought, he reached out and collected the scattered ancient runestones around him, muttering, "Using all these skills has drained both my strength and magic. The red ancient runestones are rare, so I don't have many of them. For now, I'll gather these stones first." After pocketing the stones into his wrist storage, just as he relaxed and let his guard down, suddenly from the forest came a crescent-shaped energy blade slashing straight toward him, cutting half of the trees in its path. Fortunately, Hansu reacted in time, raising both axes to form an X-shaped cross-block to deflect the attack. Looking at his axes, he realized they were on their last legs. They had already been weakening, and he'd been using them even more recklessly. Turning his gaze forward, the attacker was none other than Girja-su. Seeing Hansu successfully block his strike, Girja-su smirked and said, "Wow, you blocked that. I was going to hold back if you were about to die, but you're better than I thought. I'm not here to fight, just wanted to test you a bit, so don't get mad. I came with an offer for you. Join Quadratus. Someone's already watching you. This offer is good for you, so come along." Before Girja-su could finish, Hansu swung a slash of energy that cut across Girja-su's face, leaving him numb to the scalp. "You bastard, wanna die or what?" Hansu snapped, ignoring the meaningless barking from Girja-su. "Crazy bastard. Some rookie like you dares to counterattack while I'm talking." Girja-su took a deep breath to calm himself down. "Piff, you must be pretty confident just because you passed the training phase. That's why you think you can attack me without fearing death. That girl might like you for some reason, but me." Before he could finish, Hansu cut him off again. "I refuse your offer, I refuse." He repeated it twice, because from his past life memories, he knew exactly what kind of organization this bastard was part of. They are a disaster-worshipping cult. Quadratus. I know very well how cruel they are. But the worst part is their business. They breed the calamity fish. Adventurers in the area have started disappearing since Quadratus began operating. Their business is watching people get eaten alive by these calamity fish. The more brutal, the more money they make. A cruel industry built on others' suffering. That's the organization I need to wipe out as soon as possible. I will kill them all, one by one. Hansu said this to himself before putting on his usual bored expression. I don't see why I should listen to someone weaker than me. He sighed heavily, which only made Girja-su grind his teeth in anger. What did you just say? Girja-su snarled. Haha, fine. I'll take you down myself. No, if I don't bring you back, they'll lose their minds. So I'll take you back whether you like it or not. Though they won't mind if you lose one or two arms, right? As he spoke, he pulled up his headband and ripped off the old wristband he was wearing. Who knows how many times he had already torn it before, or how he managed to put it back on. On the opposite side, Hansu also wanted to teach this little punk a lesson, so he didn't hesitate to clash. Same here. I'll get the info I need from you. Losing one or two limbs won't stop you from talking, right? He replied. Let's see what you'll say once I'm done with you, Girja-su threatened. Without wasting any more time, he swung his energy whip straight at Hansu. Reacting instantly, Hansu dodged by leaning to the side. Seeing this, Girja-su smirked mockingly. Foolish. Just as he predicted, suddenly, blood splattered from Hansu's shoulder, causing him to drop down to his knees. So, what else do you want to say now? Girja-su taunted with a grin, though his eyes remained sharp and cautious. He was aiming for Hansu's hand, but his attack was too light. Am I hitting too weakly? He wondered. Then Girja-su started swinging his dark whip, slapping it onto the water's surface while boasting. You won't be worth anything if I hit you too hard. Don't worry, I'll finish this quickly. Confident he had Hansu cornered, he kept talking loudly. But just as Girja-su was still running his mouth, Hansu successfully stopped the bleeding from his shoulder. Yeah, maybe I got too cocky. I've never fought you before, Hansu said as he stood up again. His words left Girja-su confused. What the hell are you talking about? Did you get kicked in the head by a bull? Just shut up and lie down, Girja snapped, raising his right arm to swing the whip again. However, before Girja-su could attack, Hansu closed the distance instantly and delivered a solid punch right to Girjisu's stomach. The hit made Girjisu vomit from the pain. With the momentum, his weak body flew backward like a torn sack. I need to update my info. Let's cooperate, Hansu said confidently with a smile. Meanwhile, Girjisu was still stunned from the hit. That attack, I didn't see it coming. Fighting against a bastard who probably has invisible ancient stats, he thought, unsure if he could fight back. But he still tried to talk big. Don't get too cocky. I let you hit me on purpose. Before Girjisu could finish, Hansu released a few ancient stones into the palm of his hand and nodded. Good, I'm just getting started. You're not going down that easily. Hansu's calm, confident demeanor made Girjisu's face turn dark. You think just raising some stats can change your skills? Stats aren't everything, Girjisu sneered. Hansu nodded, accepting that, then threw his axe flying quickly forward. The axe pierced directly into the tree trunk above Girjisu's head, sending a chill through him. What's wrong? Scared now? Hansu teased, watching Girjisu's stunned, frightened expression. No way, I'm not scared, Girjisu growled, but his trembling body betrayed his words. Next, the player swung his whip, transforming the energy ribbon into a massive greatsword, the Sword of Oblivion. Whether it was a powerful artifact or not, Girjisu gripped the sword and charged confidently at Hansu. Hansu raised both hands into a defensive stance, seemingly ready to use martial arts. He's attacking bare-handed. His horizontal slash will tear through everything within range. I'll shred his hand, Hansu thought. Girjisu swung the sword diagonally from below upward, aiming straight for Hansu's throat. With all three of his eyes shining brightly, he smiled, I've got you. But just 1 second later, his smile faded completely. Hansu activated the first power of the Nubaha ring, grabbing the blade. With just a slight force, the energy sword shattered into countless fragments. Seeing his prized weapon turn to junk, Girjisu's multiple eyes glazed over, as if he'd just lost a high-stakes game. No way, my slash was blocked. Even experts in decoding magic struggle to break attacks with such high mana concentration, he thought, trembling with fear. Turning back to Hansu, now unarmed, Hansu rushed forward, grabbed Girjisu by the collar, and slammed him onto the ground hard enough to make him cough up blood, his lips swollen in pain. Then Hansu looked at the bastard and said, Don't pretend to be dead. I've held back enough. He wondered, is he really unconscious? As he reached out with both hands and grabbed Girjisu by the collar. Looking at the arm tightly gripping his bicep, Hansu nodded slightly. Oh, not bad. You reacted quickly. You used a skill to block, he said in surprise. At that moment, Girjisu's body seemed to stiffen like cement. It works, Hansu thought. The defense skill, Bronze JD, limits his movement. I didn't want to use it before because it restricts me, but now I have no choice. Girjisu thought silently. If I can break free from his control. But with the Nubaha ring, those skills barely affect Hansu. Nice try, but that's all you've got, Hansu said, then punched Girjisu's face, sending his teeth flying out instantly. How could he break through my skill? Girjisu screamed. Hansu's hands moved like machines, continuously throwing rapid punches downwards. Finally, overwhelmed by pain, Girjisu raised both hands in surrender. Wait. I'll tell you everything. I have no choice. You understand? My business isn't going well. I just follow orders. Look, I'm a good guy. I don't want to hurt anyone. If you spare me, I'll give you some of my ancient rune stones. I'll tell you who ordered to send you here, the unscrupulous man pleaded, trying to redeem himself. Listening to him ramble on for over 10 seconds made Hansu a bit annoyed. You're saying way too much unnecessary stuff, Hansu said as he clenched his fist tightly and punched Girjisu right in the center of his face. After that punch, Girjisu's face seemed to cave inward. Such a hassle, Hansu muttered. But you did tell me to talk, Girjisu screamed in his mind, tears and snot running down his face. So what? I've told you everything I know already, Hansu said. You bastard, you've treated me like a dog, what more do you want? The idiot kept bragging, talking non-stop. Hansu was out of patience. He had to use physical force to teach the guy a lesson before he would finally cooperate and confess honestly. That's all I know. Quadratus is a cult that worships disaster. Besides their usual work in that area, they also hire other guilds to do jobs for them. This time the assignment is to spy on you, Hansu, since you finished the tutorial stage. The one who commissioned it is Carls Morel, from the Pathfinders Guild. Hansu recognized the name immediately. Pathfinders, huh? The Pathfinders form an alliance of 6 guilds managing the 6 roots of the World Tree. Their management over these roots shows that they're among the strongest guilds. But Pathfinders should be under Miyamoto's control, right? So there's more than one guild meddling in this business. Thinking this through, Hansu asked, "They must be getting ready to move out now. The informant is from the support center, right?" Jirjisu nodded hurriedly. Yes, some support people are involved, but this time I got the info directly from Carls Morel. Is that so? Then you're worthless now, Hansu said, exuding a dangerous aura that sent chills down the spine of the street thug. Wait, there's more. Listen up, idiot. What I did just now was all an act. Do you know what the eye on my forehead is? What you just did before Jirjisu could finish, Hansu bluntly interrupted. It's the 1,000-mile eye of the envious one, right? Jirjisu's face froze in shock, wondering how Hansu knew about that artifact. But setting aside how Hansu knew, he began to threaten him. Yes, with the 1,000-mile eye, I can share my vision with others. That means your location has already been compromised. Oh God, I'm so scared, Hansu said sarcastically, though his expression showed no worry at all. Behind him, seeing Hansu ready to leave, Jirjisu tried to stall. Carls Morel is the commander of the Pathfinders forces. You really think you can escape? Right now you're like a fish on the chopping board. No sooner had Jirjisu finished speaking and boasting about the consequences Hansu would face when his bosses arrived, Hansu rushed forward and punched him hard in the stomach. Jirjisu barely managed to groan a few words before passing out. Damn bastard, I was talking. Jirjisu gasped weakly. Seeing Jirjisu finally shut up, Hansu exhaled wearily. Pretending with you guys is really exhausting. After saying that, Hansu took advantage of the moment to seize all the equipment from the thug. My weapons are almost all used up, I need to find new gear. The forgotten relic, that's a good item. And this duplicate mirror artifact isn't bad either. At the same time, high above in the sky, a strange white hawk appeared. Looking at it, Hansu knew immediately it was a scouting device sent ahead. Detected again, Carls Morel. I don't remember who he is, so probably just some small fry. But what a nuisance, I'm busy now, plus that bunch of monsters nearby. It seems there's a pack of Jirtis around. Hansu smiled as he looked toward the nearby forest. Alright, I'll take them down before reinforcements arrive. Jirtis were monstrous creatures resembling prehistoric purple-skinned dinosaurs, hunting in packs. Somewhere else, 3 men cloaked in black were being chased desperately by these purple dinosaurs. One of them on the left shouted, "Everyone, activate invisibility." At his command, all 3 activated their invisibility skills, making their bodies vanish instantly from the Jirtis sight. The trio then quickly jumped onto a nearby tree branch, leaving the Jirtis confused, unable to figure out where their dinner had gone. Seeing the monsters stumble around cluelessly, the cloaked men sighed with relief. Almost gave myself a heart attack. That's why I don't want to be bait, said Cheng, a member of the Quadratus Guild. How many Jirtis do we need to lure? Another asked. The more the better, Cheng replied. But he also reminded them, since we need to hold our breath to maintain invisibility, we can't use it continuously. For now, let's lure them to the valley, then rest before continuing. Mentioning this, Cheng recalled the mission their boss Carls had assigned to Jirjisu and complained, "By the way, that idiot just needs to bring the rookie here. Why is it taking so long?" You mean Jirjisu, the one who accepted the commission? Asked someone nearby. Yeah, probably off playing around again, Cheng answered. While everyone else was working their backs off, the 3 men in the group suddenly noticed something and simultaneously looked up. Then, a dove emitting a faint bluish-green glow appeared on Cheng's fingertip, a messenger dove with a blue hue. Only one person was capable of materializing such a detailed dove like this. Nobody knew exactly how he read the information carried by the dove, but after finishing, his expression grew thoughtful as he stood up and said, "Let's go. We've received a message calling us to Lake QQ." Time quickly passed until late afternoon. By then, Cheng's group had reached Hansu's previous location and found Jirjisu lying there, like a dead dog. Did you really lose? Cheng sneered at him. The mentally slow guy didn't argue but only replied, "Good thing I passed out in a low-toxin area." My legs almost got burned to a crisp. So what about that guy? Did he knock you out? By the time we arrived, he was long gone. Cheng mocked Jirjisu again. You mean someone who survived inside the belly of disaster, like you couldn't even capture some punk kid? And you expect us to clean up the mess you left behind? Ignoring the taunts, Jirjisu hurriedly checked his body and gritted his teeth. Damn it, my weapons, and what the hell is this weird wound? He frowned as he looked at the bandaged injury on his thigh. Of course that wound was caused by Han Su. Go back to sleep. I'll give you a gift. In exchange, I'll take your weapons. Han Su's voice echoed faintly inside his head, though Jirjisu still didn't fully understand what it meant. What are you whining about? Get up, we have to report the situation here, Cheng reminded him. Shut up. I remember he said something, Jirjisu grumbled. What about him? Are you addicted to poison or something? Then he turned to his companion and ordered, escort him out. We'll return to the ship. Just in case, I'll contact the nearby commander and the client as well. As he spoke, he activated his skill and conjured a blue messenger dove hovering between his palms. The blue messenger dove, a support skill that helps travelers communicate. His messenger dove could only send basic information, but it had to be clear and precise. Scene shifted to an unknown location. Cheng's messenger dove fell into the hands of Carl's. After reading the message, Carl's angrily crushed the dove in his hand. Pathetic fools. Let's go. Follow me. Not long after, Carl's appeared on the ship where Cheng's group had just arrived. Seeing him, Cheng hurried forward to greet him. You came quickly. I just sent the dove a moment ago. Without responding, the boss pushed Cheng aside and approached Jirjisu. Step aside. What's this nonsense, Zhang Jirjisu? You dare show your face here after being beaten to a pulp by a rookie? Carl's Morin, Jirjisu muttered. To emphasize his point, Carl's immediately kicked Jirjisu straight in the stomach, causing him immense pain. Who do you think you are, barking at me? Didn't expect Quadratus to become so useless. How do you plan to handle this trash? Carl said, then looked at Cheng. We will take responsibility, Cheng quietly replied. Before long, a cloaked man nearby noticed something and shouted, Trouble. Our Jurtis herd is gathering in the valley. They're breaking out and heading this way. Hearing this, the group rushed to the ship's side to observe and discovered that, somehow, the entire herd of dinosaurs they had painstakingly gathered was now flooding this place. Damn it. Once the Gertas run, they can't change direction. I used that trait to lure them into the valley. How did they escape and come here just because we captured their young ones? Cheng said, confused. At that moment, a strange scent wafted past Carl's nose. He quickly pulled out a dagger and aimed it at Jirjisu's position, then threw the knife straight into Jirjisu's wound with a shout. You idiot, you just dragged a whole pile of trash back there. When he pulled the dagger out of Jirjisu's thigh, a piece of paper stuck to it. This is Gertis blood, it will lure them here, and it contains an amplifier to boost its influence. If I hadn't used Arona's tracking, no one would have known. Carl stroked his chin thoughtfully, considering the person who came up with this plan. A rookie who just arrived in the red zone and already knows the traits of Gertis to trick us? Haha, amusing. This is interesting. He suddenly burst into a manic laugh and turned to Cheng with a command. That one, bring Kang Han Su to me. I want to see his face. Cheng hesitated but replied, There's a herd of Gertis down there. The ship won't hold out long. Let me be clear, I'll handle things here, Carl said, his hand glowing with energy, as if he intended to personally intercept. Cheng didn't seem fully convinced but stammered. But, this kid has disobeyed orders more times than I can count. That annoyed Carl's. Don't make me repeat myself. Hurry up and bring him here, or I'll toss you to the Gertis as food. I'll handle things here, move it. After threatening Cheng, Carl's tossed Jirjisu aside like trash. Kang Han Su smirked. If you think this field is enough to stop me, you're dead wrong. I'll make you regret it. With that, he began gathering energy inside his body, forming a glowing sphere between his palms. Once fully charged, he thrust both hands forward, launching the sphere like a cannonball. The blast sent the purple dinosaurs flying in all directions like a storm of destruction. The explosion was so loud that even Han Su, standing far away, could hear it. Looks like my trap is working, he chuckled, pleased to have bought some extra time. Time to move forward. Time passed quickly. Setting aside the trouble Carl's group was having with the Gertis, Hansu took the opportunity to gather materials for himself. He gently pulled a syringe out from part of a tree root, a look of disgust flashing across his face. The nutrients here are just dried bones, no thanks. Not eating this for 2 days is really wearing me out. The nutrient liquid flowed through the world tree's roots, some absorbed the poison, while others purified and detoxified. I need to find something nutritious, but ever since the world tree died, nutrient sources have sharply declined. I've gathered almost all the necessary ingredients. It'll be more effective if I leave this place soon. The only thing left was the deep lake inside the tunnel where the adult Kukuzas lived. It's not a shallow water structure like here, so I need to build a bridge. With that, Hansu pulled a few seeds from his storage pouch, bamboo shoot seeds which absorb poison water to grow giant leaves. Once dropped into the water, the seeds quickly sprouted before his eyes, forming enormous lotus-like leaves as large as small buildings. Using their buoyancy, Hansu jumped down and ran across them. It would be easier if I could lure them onto the leaves, but there's no time. I'll go down myself. Time to start the hunt. He summoned the sword he had confiscated from Jirjisu. Ahead of him was a herd of giant Kukuza water buffalo, seemingly the adults. Back to Carl's group, under his overwhelming firepower, the entire herd of purple dinosaurs had been burned to cooked meat. After clearing out the trash blocking his path, Carl coldly asked the girl behind him, "Has the messenger pigeon arrived?" "It's still delivering the message," she replied. Carl clicked his tongue in frustration. "Tech, even the strongest reconnaissance skill can only be used once a month, and you wasted it. If you weren't good at leading the way, we'd have thrown you into the poisonous sea already, both you and Quadratus." The more he spoke, the angrier Carl grew at Jirjisu. But seeing Jirjisu's limp body, the masked man realized Jirjisu probably couldn't endure any more torture and threw him down, then turned back to the girl. "Rachel, take me to the final location." "Are you going alone?" Rachel asked. "Yeah, hunting with my own hands is fun," he replied. "Kang Hansu, you won't get away," Carl said, a look of excitement spreading across his face. Meanwhile, Hansu was surrounded by the dead bodies of the water buffalo floating all over the place. Exhausted from dealing with them, he was breathing heavily, his stamina nearly gone. "It's getting harder to swing my sword, but this is the last Kukuza heart I need." Thinking this, he bent down to extract the heart from the water buffalo. But just after finishing, he suddenly felt a chilling sensation up his spine, as if something was targeting him. Instinctively, he tilted his head to the side and dodged successfully as an arrow sped toward him, slicing through the air. The arrow struck the buffalo's body, shattering it into pieces instantly. The attacker was none other than Cheng. While Carl was busy dealing with the purple dinosaurs, Cheng had snuck here to capture Hansu. "Chech missed again," Cheng said with regret. While Hansu's face showed signs of strain, he was completely exhausted. His precision skill was faltering, making it hard to dodge the attacks. Seeing no other choice, Hansu swung his sword twice, knocking away 3 glowing arrows flying toward him. However, the forceful action caused the wounds on his arms to bleed heavily again. "Damn it," the wounds tore open again. Hansu gritted his teeth and said. At the same time, droplets of his blood fell into the poisonous lake, the scent quickly stirring the bloodthirsty instincts of the raging water buffalo. Without wasting a second, 2 of the crazed beasts charged at him faster than a bike losing its chain. Because someone was targeting him, Hansu couldn't stop to fight them off. "They're going berserk over the blood. What a nuisance," he frowned, thinking to himself. Meanwhile, Cheng was also irritated by the rampaging buffalo disrupting his plans. "Damn rats, those water buffalo are making everything harder. We're here to support, go down and capture him," he ordered the girl beside him. Her name was Miller, a member of Quadratus. Hearing Cheng's command, she hesitated for a moment. "What? You want me to go into the swamp full of water buffalo? The splashing will ruin my hair. Otherwise he'll just get away," she protested. "Now, just chase the bleeding guy." "What are you afraid of?" Cheng yelled, making Miller's ears nearly ready to retire early. "All right, stop yelling or I'll get more wrinkles. I'm sending a messenger pigeon now. You handle him." "Got it. We have to capture him alive," Cheng said as he activated his communication skill. Though reluctant, Miller jumped down to face Hansu. "Fine, capture alive it is. But you better keep me entertained until we're both exhausted," she said, slowly drawing the short sword at her side. Above them, the cloaked figures didn't stay idle, they immediately cast supportive magic to aid Miller. They used some sort of enhancement spell that wrapped the assassin in a glowing red aura. Once in battle mode, her attitude shifted completely. Gone was her earlier sarcasm. "It's been a while since I had a proper fight like this. Let's go," she declared. With a single leap, she launched herself from a giant lotus leaf straight toward Hansu. And so, their battle began. Miller swung her sword so fast it left afterimages, while Hansu parried like a machine. But before many exchanges could happen, from above, a raging water buffalo suddenly charged at Hansu with its jaws wide open, startling him slightly. But right after that, Hansu casually swung his sword, slicing straight through the throat of the raging water buffalo, causing it to writhe and struggle on the ground. Turning back to Miller, seeing that Hansu was busy dealing with the beast, she immediately closed the distance and aimed her sword at his throat. "Where are you looking, handsome?" she teased. At that narrow moment, Hansu threw his whole body backward to dodge. Then, to return the favor, he kicked Miller straight in the face. Although she managed to block with her left hand, the force of the kick still sent her slender body flying far away. Miller twisted slightly midair to lessen the impact and lightly landed on a lotus leaf behind her. "I didn't expect someone on the edge of collapse to be so tough. I'll make you pay for the scar you gave me. I'm not going easy on you," she said, licking the blood off the corner of her lips seductively. Meanwhile, Hansu's face grew pale from exhaustion. Miller stepped closer as the crazed water buffalo were going wild over the blood. "If I cause a ruckus, it'll be dangerous. The situation favors her right now. The longer this fight drags on, the worse it is for me. So why not change things up a bit?" With that thought, he started transforming his sword shape, turning it into a whip. Instantly, he cracked it straight at Miller, producing a loud explosion in the air. Though caught off guard, the assassin still managed to block it. "What? I thought you were smart, but you're just mediocre. Isn't that Georgia Sue's weapon? You really shouldn't be stealing other people's weapons like that." She looked at the whip marks on her left arm as she spoke, but suddenly the wound began bleeding uncontrollably, startling her. "What? The wound isn't healing. Why is it getting bigger? No way," she shouted as the crazed buffalo, attracted by the blood, shifted their attack toward her. From above, Cheng's group watched in confusion. "What is she doing?" "Seize the moment. It's just a little blood. They're smelling my blood." Miller panicked. All this was caused by the second power of the Nan Nu Maha hemorrhage. This power unlocks when the red stat is boosted. Don't think it's just normal bleeding. Continuous blood loss during battle clouds the mind and drains the body. Maintaining hemorrhage costs a lot of magic, so Miller had been trying to avoid using it. But with the monsters going berserk over the blood, this was the current situation. Thinking she could escape now, while Cheng's people were busy with the crazed buffalo, Hansu took the opportunity to sprint away as fast as he could. Seeing Hansu's retreating back, Cheng panicked. "You fools. Go help her. If we lose track of him here, Karl's Morin won't let us off easily. I can't face that again. I'll handle the Kukura. So just focus on capturing Kang Hansu." As he spoke, Cheng pulled back his bow and fired a rapid volley of arrows at the charging buffalo to support his teammate. Meanwhile, the cloaked figures rushed forward to engage Hansu in close combat. Seeing this, Hansu reached into his storage pouch, muttering to himself, "What a hassle. Then I'll give you all a gift," he said, before hurling the corpse of a purple dinosaur straight at them. But Miller immediately swung her sword, slicing the corpse in two. "Running won't work on me," she said coldly. "Wait, the blood, is this from Gertis?" Hansu exclaimed in surprise. This was his cue to enlighten the others. "Do you know? Gerda's blood is the perfect bait to drive those QQ robbers berserk. They won't hesitate to charge at whoever has that blood on them. Just imagine what they'd do if you were covered in Gerda's blood." No sooner had he finished speaking than the entire herd of buffalo suddenly went wild, reaching level 2 frenzy. "This crazy bastard," Miller hissed, her face twisted in disgust. "Well then, have fun with them," Hansu shrugged. At that moment, the enraged buffalo could no longer contain their fury and charged from all four sides to attack them. Back to Hansu. After sprinting away for a while, he finally managed to slip out of the group's sight. He even had a moment to spare to check on something else. Quietly placing his hand on a nearby tree root, Hansu's expression darkened slightly. The root was dry. With the way things were going, everywhere the helpers came to was drying up fast. This process was happening too quickly. He needed to check the area above as well. Hopefully it wasn't too far. I thought things would be easier after the red zone. Keldian, next time we meet, I'll give you a fight, he muttered under his breath, recalling the wizard's tough words from before. At the same time, elsewhere, a new group of adventurers led temporarily by Juhan was gathering nutrient fluids. However, the spot they targeted had already been taken over by another group. Seeing them arrive, a man in a red leather jacket arrogantly sneered. Fresh blood showing up here without knowing the rules. Get down, idiots. This is our territory. Another man nodded and added, yeah, go away. Juhan's face grew withered, lips cracked from thirst and exhaustion. But down there the nutrients are gone. The fluid we received from helpers is all used up. Please have a little mercy, he pleaded weakly. The opposing group burst into loud, mocking laughter. Haha, maybe you should manage your resources better. This area belongs to our guild, said a man in gray, asserting his claim. The red-jacketed man pulled out a knife threateningly. You're newbies. You don't have what it takes to fight us. Newbies should be a little hungry, right? Knowing they were outmatched, Juhan's group reluctantly turned away, frustration burning inside. Damn it, after all we've done to get here, the world tree is rotting. Of course the lower areas won't supply nutrients properly. The upper zones have plenty, but they're full of monsters. And every time we try to climb up, other guilds block our way. Are we going to starve like this? The group silently pondered their helplessness. Suddenly, the shouts from earlier caught their attention. Who are you? When did you get here? Get lost. Before the words even finished, a punch slammed into the man's stomach, forcing him to spit out saliva. The attacker was none other than Hansu, who had just arrived. Without missing a beat, Hansu threw the beaten man forward, causing the nearby hunters to step back in shock. He defeated our captain with one strike. Step back, two of them ordered hurriedly, dragging their boss away. Seeing the rivals retreat, Juhan's group was overjoyed. They're running away. Finally we can get the fluid. I never thought I'd be thankful for this someday. Everyone drink up. Without a word, the whole group eagerly started to absorb the nutrient fluid. Juhan glanced at Hansu with a dumbfounded smile. Haha, he solved the problem with just one move. Time flew by quickly. After gathering some nutrient fluid, the small guy didn't forget to come closer and thank the main character. Hey Kang Hansu, your name is Kang Hansu, right? It's been a while, he said. Hearing his name, Hansu jumped down in front of him with a puzzled look. You know me. Haha, don't you remember? We were on the same ship, the young man said awkwardly. Hansu felt strange this guy acted familiar but didn't even remember his face. Putting his embarrassment aside, Juhan then asked, so, what have you been up to? This is the first time I've seen you since then. Well, that's not important right now. It's good to see you again. I'm Juhan. Thanks to you we would have all starved otherwise, Juhan added gratefully. Hansu just shrugged as if it was nothing. I just wanted to eat. But go ahead, eat if you want. Juhan, seemingly thinking hard about something, gritted his teeth and said, then, can I ask for one more favor? You probably know already our ship, we need it. All the paths upwards are blocked, so we need to use the ship. No, Hansu shook his head, refusing. I'm not begging. The nutrients here could run out anytime and the disaster fish is damaging the routes outside. So just take the ship and go up, Juhan urged quickly. But Hansu, already having his own plan, replied coldly. That's not the problem. It will be solved soon. You'll be safe waiting here. Don't even think about going above. What are you planning to do? Juhan asked, startled. I'll take care of it. I'll use the ship to deal with the disasters attacking the world tree. I'll personally defeat the disaster fish. So you don't have to worry about dying anymore. Hansu said with absolute certainty. Juhan's eyes dimmed for a moment, losing their light. It took several seconds for him to regain his composure. Sorry, what did you say? Please explain that more clearly. Hansu didn't answer. He just told himself if the disasters disappear, the area will thrive, and everyone here will be safe. So how could he be wrong? Seeing Hansu remain silent, Juhan could only hold his head and sigh. God, I don't really know what you're saying, but if it's you, someone who's done so many unbelievable things, it just might be true. Before you go, can I ask one more question? Why do you try so hard to save everyone? Hearing the question, Hansu's steps paused for a moment. Why? Because I need to save as many people as possible. That's why I came back. Saying this, a flicker of doubt crossed Hansu's heart. Was this really what he truly wanted? Kang Hansu, why did you stop, Yuhan?